I had a conversation with a guy a long time ago, but it always stuck with me. This guy was about to get engaged. He was about to propose to his girlfriend, and they went on holiday. They're sitting in this beach resort. And at the beach resort, they wake up in the morning and they go down to the beach and they're sitting looking out at the ocean. And this guy says to his girlfriend, what's the best sex you've ever had in your life? Now, that is a question you don't want to ask unless you're prepared for the answer. So he asks her, what was the best sex you ever had? Now, he's thinking that she's going to say, oh, you, of course, you're the best sex I ever had. Well, guess what? She didn't say that. Being a woman, she decided that she was going to say the truth and she wasn't going to spare him his feelings. She wasn't going to care about lying to him or making him feel better and just saying, oh, you, of course, you're the best I ever had. No, she didn't do that. She decided she was going to say who she had the best sex with. Now, I'm going to adjust a few of the details because if I told you the real age she mentioned, this video would either be blocked or shadow banned by YouTube. I've had this happen to me before, so I'm just going to adjust the ages here. But she said, when I was 18, I met this guy, this next door neighbor who was also 18, and we had sex. And it was the most thrilling, exhilarating sex I've ever had. I would go around to his house and hide in the garden shed or go into the tree house and we would have sex and our parents didn't know that we were sleeping together. And he did absolutely everything to me. We're talking everything. No holes barred. And this guy flipped out. He said, oh my God, that's crazy. That's too young. He was grooming you. He was abusive towards you. And she said, no, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. And he said, well, how could you? That must have hurt. That must have been painful. That must have been uncomfortable. And she said, no, it was the best sex I ever had. And well, you asked me what the best sex I ever had was, and I'm telling you. And this is what she said. So this guy's thinking, my God, I was beaten by an 18-year-old kid. An 18-year-old kid is her favorite sexual memory. He said he ran into the ocean, he threw himself on the water, and he screamed with frustration. And then we're talking later on. And he said to me, what do I do? I just can't get this out of my head. I just keep playing this incident over and over again. And I said to him, look, she said the sex was painful. She said it was uncomfortable, but she said it was also thrilling and exciting. What's your sex like? Is it dominant? Is it submissive? Are you being passive? And he says, we have great sex. It's very loving. It's very sweet. It's very tender. And I said, maybe you want to introduce some more dominance elements into sex because that might fix the problem. If she was talking about that, it's not the fact that it's an 18-year-old kid that she's attracted to, it's the interaction, it's the dominance play that's going on there. He was dominant, he was taking control, and she loved it. It was a memory she can't forget. And she's telling you in a very subtle and a very tough way as well. She's telling you, I want you to be more dominant. That's the kind of sex I like. So now we get to what is a woman's number one sexual fantasy. The number one sexual fantasy for women is dominance and submission fantasies. They dream of being dominated. They dream of being submissive to a man who can take control of them. This is also, according to science, something that conflicts with a woman's feelings that everything should be gender equal. There should be equality because on the surface level, yeah, people want equality, but deep down under the surface, a lot of women, they want to feel as though a man can take control of them and they want to submit to a man they believe is worthy of submission to. They're not going to submit to anyone, of course. They're not interested in that. I talk about that in more detail in my book, Atomic Attraction, which is based on over 120 scientific studies. Women want men to take control and to be dominant, but they want to submit to the right kind of man. If you're struggling with this, you want to know more about this in detail, don't forget I do phone and email consultations, which you can book on my website, developattraction.com. And let me know what you guys think in the comments section. I always love to hear from you guys. And if you haven't subscribed already, it really helps me out if you subscribe as well. Till next time, talk to you soon.